Well, we're still at the Color Country Railroad Club's open house.
Right.
This is such a fun place to visit. For one thing, it's just such a beautiful part of the world.
It sure is.
But there's some amazing model railroads here.
Oh, I know. They're just beautiful.
And a lot of them are garden railroads. So this week we're looking at garden railroads. I can't think of a better place to build garden railroads because they have like 360 operating days a year.
Just about.
Some people say that's ideal for golf, but I think it's ideal for garden railroading.
Or both.
Or both. We're starting off at Tom and Amy Meyers Railroad. This has been off of the open house for a couple of years because Tom passed away.
Yeah, that was sad.
And then we heard that the railroad had been torn out, which actually turns out to be partially true, that Amy wanted to redo it.
Right.
And so, well, mostly she wanted to redo her patio, so she hasn't been on the open house, so this is a great thing that we're back here at the Meyers house looking at their great garden railroad.
My husband and I built it together. He designed it and he wanted a lot that he could fit it on. So he showed the builder, here's my railroad. Sell me a lot that will fit. I was the person that helped him put the track down and build the buildings. He did all of the work on the locomotives. Putting all the Digitreks in the locomotives and the sound and everything. My husband had the Digitreks unit back when he had HO, and he converted it from HO to G scale. Each train has its own number. Like this one is 28, so I have to key in the 28 in order to get it running, and like the interurban is 51, so each one has a different number, and it tells it, which one to run and what to do with it. Like if you want the whistle or the bells, or the horn, you tell it which locomotive. I don't really know a lot about the locomotives themselves. I'm just trying to keep them running. And right now, you'll notice I only have one running because the other one wasn't behaving today.
Oh, so you say you had to take part of it out, or how much did you have to take out?
Well, about a quarter of it, maybe a third, because I had the patio extended and the walkway changed, so they couldn't work back here with their wheelbarrows and everything. So I took it apart and I put it back together.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great railroad.
Thank you.
I bet you enjoy it.
Oh, I do.
So this is really neat because this Digitrack system that she's using on her railroad here, this is the same system that we're using on our railroad. We're using some other cab controls, the units that go in the locomotives, but it's the same exact thing. Power through the track and Digitracks.
I really like the way that she has this layout tied right in with the patio, and so they can just sit outside and watch the train go around.
I really like the fact that it's very large. A lot of the garden railroads are so small, and this one is just, there's a lot of track here, and it fills up the entire yard.
Right.
So next up, this is the railroad of Dean Oldenwalder. He's done it in 1/29th scale.
Oh, I thought it looked a little bit different.
Yeah, they're huge trains. They run on the exact same track,
Right.
but this way he can do more modern diesels in this standard gauge as opposed to the narrow gauge.
Well, I started it about 2 years ago and then built it from a single loop up to 3 loops now, and just enjoy the train.
So you say you're from Ogden?
Yeah, I come from up in Roy, Utah, and came down here 3 years ago and brought my railway with me.
It's better running down here because you can run year round.
Well, summer's a little warm. The engines don't like it so well in the summer. But yeah, this is really nice weather to run in.
You're planning to expand the railroad more?
I think that's about as much as I can do. I'm trying to get some housing and some the inner stuff done now. It's just a work in progress, probably like most railroads.
Hopefully all railroads.
Yes,
Building them is half the fun.
it's the most fun. Yeah.
Now you're using this control system. What is this control system you're using?
I use the Ring Rail Pro. I don't know if you can see it with the glare.
There was another guy up in the Roy area, Layton, was using that same thing. He had a big, huge garden railroad on...
Dean Weiss, probably.
Probably, yeah.
In the day, the Revolution from Crest was pretty good. I still have that in a couple of my engines, but I really like this Ring.
Is it battery?
All mine is battery, yeah. But you can use it with the electrified rails.
So over to Larry and Peggy Schneider's place. We've been over here about 1 million times.
Right, it's one of our favorites.
But they've added a whole new section.
They have.
And that's just, it's an ever-growing wall. These railroads are growing. They should be.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So this, we wanted to see their new section.
This railroad started in 2009, and it started out with just a loop and some little tiny flowers in the backyard, and one loop and one train running, and the only building was a lighthouse. And now when you see those, maybe 14 or 15 buildings, There's power lines running all over the railroad that are actually live, and the buildings do light up at night. All the trains are controlled from an iPad using Bluetooth technology, and so we can have multiple trains running at the same time.
How many you got running right now?
There are 5 trains running currently, 2 on the same track, 1 on a single track, a trolley car running up on our buttress in the back, and then we have a mine train running over here, goes out to the mine, gets coal, brings it back to the crusher, and then we have another train that takes the crushed coal to the power plant for power.
So you got a new section over here.
Yes, we have a new section on the west side here. We extended the main line another 5 feet out further, and then the fire tower, which was over on the west side, is now up on the raised garden, more or less in the forest, so it can see better. And so the farm was rearranged, and the barn and all the outbuildings have been moved, so that now we have more room for our animals and more pasture space. You'll see a big mural here. It's 24 feet long. It's in 6 pieces, and it's actually a photograph of the Pine Valley Mountains. Our campground was built about 4 years ago, and it's sold out this weekend, Veterans Day weekend. And if you join us over on the main street here, you'll see our Veterans Day parade for today.
Now, one of the questions that always comes up with a good-sized garden railroad like this is maintenance.
Oh yes, maintenance. Well, we started preparing, let's see, this is November. We started preparing at the beginning of October when the weather cooled down a little bit. And we had to add some ballast to the track. And on our inside loop, we had trouble with one of the corners. So that corner was tore out, and actually had to add some additional sections of track in order to make it operate properly. But as you can see today, the trains are running without problems so far. You came at the right time. Well, my design here, when I came, I didn't have any idea how to do this. So what I ended up doing was a little bit of experimental work on my own, but my whole backyard was filled with what's called, I think it's called Apache Gold rock. It's really gravel, but so I pulled away the gravel, and I used a mixture of red dirt and clay to lay in a roadbed. I had a form that I used to pull along, and then once the form and the roadbed were all laid, I then just set the track on top of the roadbed, and then I use something called pigeon grit. Some people call it chicken grit as ballast for the track. The advantage of this is when you have to do maintenance, I just bring my shop back up here, I suck all the ballast back up, I do my maintenance, and I can put the ballast right back down again. So it makes it very easy to maintain. There's no problem with track movement. It can move freely if it wants to. No permanent attachment to the ground. It just sits there, just like rail track does.
Because the temperatures here are quite hot.
Well, yes, in the summertime, 110, and in the wintertime, cold temperatures at night will get into the high 20s. So you have almost 100-degree temperature swing. But it doesn't seem to harm the track. I moved here from the Chicago area, and some of my track has been outside for 20 years now, and still maintaining the same continuity that it did when I laid it down. All of the track joints are screwed together, and so this provides good continuity for all of the track.
So this is really fun. Notice that there they are standing at the train station.
Isn't that neat?
They went to Minotaur Wunderland in Germany, and I guess one of the new services they're offering there is while you're visiting, they will scan you and then print you out in full color 3D for your model railroad.
Well, what a clever idea and a keepsake. So as I was signing us in on the guest book, I happened to notice the second entry down. How did you learn about our tour? Well, someone found out about it through us.
And it turns out that lots of people have.
It looks like that, right?
That's fun.
Yes.
It's nice to know that we're doing something to promote the hobby.
Oh, absolutely. And this train show.
Well, this is such a fun show, and we'll be still here next week.
Oh, absolutely.
So much more to see. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't hurt. Just click on the subscribe button. You might also consider clicking on the join button, and that would send a few dollars our way. But the subscribe button doesn't cost a darn thing, and that's coming up just about now. Zoink! Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.